Good evening, and thanks very much for tuning in. So it's been a week since we were last on Alpha Centauri. Many thanks to those of you who paused. Of course, I also made my first debut on YouTube as a talking head goth pundit. If you want, you can visit my YouTube. Simply search for theblogginggoth.com, and you will be able to find not only the video I did last week, but also all my previous gameplays of Alpha Centauri to get yourself caught up. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me for this evening's stream. We shall indeed proceed. And if you were with me on my last gameplay, things suddenly went sideways when we had a couple of crop failures, which meant my bases were not only stopping growing but shrinking, and the Morganites, my Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos-style neighbours, decided to suddenly make a massive land grab and plant Morgan mines right on top of a hill in between my home base and Relativity School. And they're also rolling another colony pod out, presumably to continually expand, which is frankly unacceptable. It has divided my territory and is going to make it very difficult to rule. So they've tipped my hand, and we must begin preparing for a faction war sooner rather than later. Artillery is great, as I've mentioned in previous playthroughs. Artillery is great for striking squares beyond your adjoining ones. So, very effective ranged combat weapon. I think you really need to start massing forces along the border with Morgan. Good evening, Shrub1. Thanks very much for tuning in. It is indeed a great game. And one I've busted out because I don't think there are a lot of retro gamers out there. You mentioned the expansion known as Crossfire. And like yourself, I also stick to the original. Crossfire's good, it's interesting, it introduces some new concepts, some new factions, aliens, and some new technologies. But like you, I can't really describe it, but the appeal of the original is just incomparable. It works, and obviously, has worked for 20 years now. As I titled my streams are Space 1999, because that's when Alpha Centauri was released commercially. And it's a game I constantly find myself revisiting. I find it evergreen. My playthrough style doesn't change very often, like the Sneak Archer in Skyrim. I'm always playing, usually a science tech heavy faction, like the University. But it's just it never changes. It never fails to grab me and drag me into the gameplay. Trying to kind of master Alpha Centauri. You mentioned the writing may not be as good. Yeah, it's possible. You may have something there. I've mentioned in previous playthroughs that the writing is really at the heart of Alpha Centauri, because the world building, the tech, the characters, the plot are all just engrossing. They grab you like there's no tomorrow. So I think Shrub1, you may be onto something there. And yes, you meet us at an interesting time. We are currently gearing up now to... I try and live with my neighbours to such point as I can crush them effortlessly. But the Morganites have tipped my hand like there's no tomorrow. This expansion here that split my territory in two cannot be allowed to continue. If I'm lucky, he's focused... Morgan, leader of the Morganites, is focused on his war with the very daunting-looking Spartans. So we will quickly nip him off, and I can claim all of the land around the freshwater sea. See, that's annoying. I've already committed to a large secret project here. I like to have as many bases as I can. Turning over. Plus, they're suffering from a crop failure, so the space is shrinking. I can't really redistribute my resources sufficiently. It's horrendous. I am going to be a bit of a dictator, but I'm going to leave the workers at Baikonur working in the mines whilst they starve. Because frankly, I need them. I need them working. We're about to go to war. So, watching guys, you're going to have to gear up. I think what I'll do is I will keep my air units on intercept. He seems to have a sizable air force, and I don't want to fly into the teeth of that. So what I will try and do is leave these as... Yes. I'll leave my Air Force on intercept so that when Morgan flies his jets, my jets will intercept them rather than try and engage them over ground defences. It seems just the best tactical choice, considering I don't have a massive Air Force at the moment. I've said in previous playthroughs how I do play this like a kind of, a stock, almost stereotypical sci-fi thriller in that I use alien bioweapons against my other human factions, much like Wayland Yutani. Now, who's the truly evil corporate player? Oh my lord, what's happening? Lord.
Complete.
That alien attack was actually quite powerful.
A ship at sea is its own world. To be the captain of a ship.
I'm not a massive naval player, despite the fact that, as Santiago of the Spartans would tell you, that this planet is covered with water. I tend not to field a big navy. I use Isles of the Deep for transport purposes, and that's about it, really. Do like monopole magnets. I love having that instantaneous travel. Orbital space flight is interesting, and it's good to get things in orbit. Fusion laser is a brilliant weapon. Very tempting. And there's Shrub pointing out that the Hive often dominates in their games. For me, it's often the Believers, the religious fundamentalists, but they were surprisingly wiped out in just the first few turns. Hence, they're not in my gameplay. You're right, these very heavy military factions like the Believers or the Hive tend to dominate the Spartans then. Whilst the others usually do a very poor job. You'll notice from this gameplay that the Gaians, the space hippies, have been knocked out of my game as well. Let's get monopole magnets. From a logistical point of view, that makes the most sense, considering I am gearing up. There he goes. Unbelievable. God, the AI, when it builds bases, is just ridiculous. So I'm planning probably a two-pronged thrust. I think from University Base to eliminate these two bases, and from Daria Sunrise to conquer his homeland.
Resource shortfall.
I'm aware of the resource shortfall. There is nothing I can do because the random events have caused crop failures.
Resource shortfall.
I know. So yes, I also picked up the Hunter-Seeker algorithm because, as anyone knows, the university is very vulnerable to to probe teams, spies of Alpha Centauri. So he's throwing probe teams at me with absolutely nothing to show for it. Okay, so council business now, and Santiago, I think for the third time in this playthrough, really pushing for us to tear up the Human Rights Act. An interesting move. Unsurprisingly, it's only her and the Hive who want to do it. Lal, as president of the council and the UN busybody, is against. The Morganites are against, and I believe I will also be against. Maybe later on I'll want to unleash horrific attacks on my human faction brethren, but not now. This isn't looking good. It's going to turn into a three-way superpower struggle between the Hive, the Spartans, and myself. I can use my Isle of the Deep, which is a seagoing unit, to attack land units. Seems a little bit unfair. There you go. Okay, so the Morganites are in touch. Let's see how this goes. The ironic thing is, yeah, he planted a base on the central continent where the Spartans are and got his arse kicked. So now he's really worried they're going to kick his ass. Don't think the Spartans are currently able to really cross the ocean in sufficient forces to attack him. Regardless of that, the AI is going to ask me for help. Utterly unaware that I'm gearing up to attack him because he is in my way. So too bad, you're on your own. I will not be giving you any technology. I'll not be giving you any technology, and I will not be allying with you. How do I actually declare vendetta? It's ridiculous. I played Alpha Centauri for years. I've completely forgotten how to declare a vendetta on somebody. And well, for the UN. I wonder if I'm actually just going to have to attack him. Not my idea of fun, but certainly I need to crush these bases before they get past size 3, at which point, if I conquer them, I have to keep them or destroy them, which is an atrocity, and which will bring down the wrath of the other human factions. Whereas if they are smaller than size 3, I can quietly remove them from the map, which I want to do. My base layout, my territory is mapped ideally for me. I don't want to have to put up with some badly placed Morganite base. Yeah, Shrub's recommending I just launch a surprise attack. Don't give any warning. He's probably right, I think. Where is best to attack? I don't think he has any air force over here, so I'm inclined to launch an attack from here. So let us bring some units up to bear. Okay. Oh. Load of rubbish. Splendid. Oh dear me. Can't get a unit there fast enough. That's a problem. Always best to carry fast attack forces with you. Oh no 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 no! Damn it! Of course he's going to attack my formers. Do I ever think it's worth putting armour on air units? No, I tend not to. Look at this asshole. Oh, what? Aircraft produce areas of control? That's not right, is it?
Unit lacks required ability.
That's unfair. I can't get around his air units now. Good lord. Yeah, and none of my air force. I've absolutely backed myself into a corner here. His air units have effortlessly locked me out. Right, okay. And we will start moving forces from here. Upgrade my defenders before we depart.
Perhaps a careful review of your options is in order.
Yep, let's do that. No, Shrub, I never put armor on my air units. It increases the production cost and time. And I don't think it really sways combat that much, so I tend to let the unit designer automatically produce them, which is with little to no armor whatsoever. I'm just going to leave them there, try and lock these guys in place. Nice. Fantastic. Destroy that base. Wonderful, thank you. Oh, and I can steal a bit of technology. How about that? Fancy ecological
You are the
engineering.
children of a dead planet.
Let's do it. And I even get a little achievement, a little Chivo for my monolith of greatness. I have conquered, but not the first on the planet to conquer anything. Oh, well. Just wipe out this colony pod. No, not talking to you. I don't want another base popping up in my rear echelon area. And crucially, I am going to commit an atrocity, which weirdly the game doesn't think it is one. But a defenseless non-combatant full of innocent colonists, and I'm about to vaporize it with a multi-dimensional energy gun. If I can't chip away at what we've got here. Nice. Fantastic. Okay, so we are now back to where we started. And we'll grab this one. No. Thank you. This is how to really baffle them. Prosecute a war on more than one front. Divide and conquer. Oh, what does Santiago want? A threat. And she's gone to war with me. Fantastic. What fun!
Request confirmation.
Go up a few. But I'm a benevolent dictator, and I will also give the bases I conquer the resources they need, because frankly I need them working for me. Okay, okay. Doing. What am I doing? What the hell even was that? I didn't know I had anything up there.
Production complete.
Such a thing in Alpha Centauri, I lose track of all my forces. So let's see if I can't use this to my advantage. And
Terraform complete.
keep expanding the logistics network as well, so I can ship more units quickly to the front line. Hey. I have defenders from Morgan Robotics. Let's do some scoping flights. Let's see what's happening. The answer is nothing. And the AI is really not garrisoning its bases efficiently. Fantastic. And I've claimed the merchant exchange as well. And the planetary data link. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Wasn't expecting to find anyone there, so we quickly moved to react. Problem solved. I've built a base on an island in the middle of nowhere. I can't believe it. Oh, that's brilliant. So why is he just trying to run a colony pod past me? Look away. The murder of children in space. But hey, we got a morale boost, so oh god. He's gonna take some prizing out of here, but we'll get there. No fear. Fantastic. Why I love rolling with speeders. 2 actions per turn. If you time it right, you can use a speeder to remove the last garrison unit of a base, and then with the second action, take the base before they can build another defender. And it's very effective. And as you go, he's only got no problem. Go away. I'm screening his calls. Not interested in talking to him. Yeah, this should do very nicely. And thank you.
Why do you insist?
Oh dear. What is going on at this base? What on earth? Man, the AI is not great at terraforming. We will have to work on that. Oh my god, the Spartans have landed.
Improvement destroyed.
The governor is on. No problem.
Drone riots. Production complete.
It is all happening now, folks. Exactly what I predicted right at the beginning of this gameplay has happened. I am fighting a two-front war, which I never ever wanted. Huh, tough guy, huh?
Terraform complete.
This is where the momentum of the war usually starts slowing down, trying to manage, administer all the occupied bases I've conquered, to manage counterattacks, all kinds of nonsense going on. Got field repairs, possible. No ho ho, bollocks!
Artifact lost.
Damn it. Okay, so a random event hit the already embattled UN, poor them.
Drone riots.
I'm aware there are drone riots, there's not a lot I can do about it. I mean, okay, there you go. I'll turn someone into an empath to manage the morale. You'll starve. To be honest though, saying that, I should be using my social engineering to put more resources into faction-wide morale management. But that can wait. Move some artillery up, shell Morgan Studios and see what's in there. 1, 2. Okay. That's manageable. Not today. You can stay there. Oh yes, in case you missed it, I picked up the Xeno Empathy Dome secret project, which allows me to treat fungus squares as roads. One of the most game-breaking secret projects there is out there. I love it. I'll be able to smash the defenders of the studios and grab the base. I can. Well-coordinated speeder attacks. Mobility is the key to winning war in Alpha Centauri. Ching. Oh my god, look at the state.
Terraform.
Oh, hey, ho, what is this? Oh my good god. Well, I never. A counterattack. That's the downside to being mobile, is you rush forces forward and they can then get taken out very quickly. Absolutely not. I'm also concerned that he will have stolen technology from me, so I now need to move very quickly to crush him before he can really mass an army against me. Tough. Very, very tough. Attack, counter-attack. Why do they always build an aerospace complex? I don't even have anything that can benefit from it yet. Okay. Can I get a Chaos Speeder over to Morgan Distribution in time? Yes. Wonderful. What we'll do is we'll queue up the deep. We'll just use that to conquer Morgan Hydrochemical quickly, and if that, my friends, should wrap up my Morgan War. The Spartans are another
I have often been asked,
problem entirely.
if we have traveled between the stars, why can we not launch the simplest of orbital probes? These fools fail to understand the difficulty of finding the appropriate materials on this planet, of developing adequate power supplies, and creating the infrastructure necessary to support such an effort. In short, we have struggled under the limitations of a colonial society on a virgin planet, until now.
Orbital spaceflight.
On Santiago, Planet, a survivalist guide.
I always forget they subtitle their own statements. I love orbital spaceflight because it chimes in with the hard sci-fi that backs Alpha Centauri, which is, well, you guys have travelled to and colonised another planet. Why is spaceflight so difficult? The answer is, we got here on a one-way ship. We didn't bring any infrastructure with us that would support orbital operations because that is really advanced technology. Remember, the Alpha Centauri mission left Earth kind of contemporary to when it was made. The game was made about 1999, so just enough for a Herculean effort to put together one interstellar colony ship and nothing else. You know, it was the last gasp, the last desperate effort to save humanity. So orbital spaceflight is realistically a late-game tech. And it's also good to have because it gives us fun things like Sky Hydroponics Lab, gives us a satellite look at planet, reveals all the fog of war from Alpha Centauri. We see the whole game map. Also gives us the missile, the intercontinental missile, and even a fun kind of diplomatic effort, which allows us to salvage the Unity's fusion core. Basically gives us $500 cash in hand. Trust the game designer. Ooh. I think theory of everything is what we want, so unified field theory next. I'll have to send forces out from Zoloto Gold because I clearly have hive units lurking around out here somewhere. I'm also going to need to concentrate on bringing these Morgan occupation bases up to code so they can start working for the glory of the university faction. Melt the polar caps. Such a bizarre suggestion in this game. By melting the polar cap, intentionally melting the polar ice of Alpha Centauri, you raise the ocean level and essentially coastal areas. The entire map changes. The water level rises. Coastal areas on the continents disappear. It's such a bizarre game concept. And it can be used quite tactically to kind of submerge the bases of a powerful faction with a lot of coastal bases who may not have domes that allow him to transform his bases into fully self-sufficient sea bases. You can really wreck a lot of the other factions by flooding them, essentially. Such a bizarre concept, and frankly, not one I'm interested in. And I noticed nobody else on the council is interested. Only my enemy, the Morganites, who want to presumably flood me. Well, guess what? No. Oh, the peacekeepers are working on the neural amplifier. Having that
destroyed.
And we won't be having that.
Confirmation.
That does mean, however, that they will immediately transfer all of their work on that secret project over to another secret project and immediately complete it. Ah. There's a few fun things there I wouldn't mind having. Maritime Control Centre. I tend not to roll with a navy, but I want somebody else to have that benefit. Well, we'll just have to see how it goes, won't we? Build a pressure dome. That's it. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. Pressure. of another Secret Project video. I think it's one of the best Secret Project videos is the Neural Amplifier video. Creepy as hell.
Against such abominations, we organize our defenses on the principle that one strong and able mind can shield the many. Spartan Battle Manual.
So yeah, the implication there being that psi warfare becomes a very common part of the lore of Alpha Centauri. But it's a really handy one as well to fend off the barbarians, the mindworms of Alpha Centauri as well. Not even against other human factions, it's more to defend yourself against the planet. So the Peacekeepers are going to get the Maritime Control Center, and will then lose their war with the Hive and lose that project to the Hive. Quite concerning that the Hive will then possess the biggest, most powerful navy on the planet. We're lucky the Spartans and the Hive will get into a war with each other and wipe each other.
Production complete.
Yeah, I'm all for $500.
Production complete.
Beware, you who seek first and final principles, for you are trampling the garden of an angry god, and he awaits you just beyond the last theorem. Sister Miriam Godwinson, but for the grace of God.
I love her fundamentalist rants against science, despite the fact that she is living in a sci-fi story and needs technological advance to stay competitive. Ah, man, the contradiction of the religious fundamentalist. No, trust the unit designer. Burton Wallace, good armor. But Centauri genetics and biomachinery are good as well. Retroviral engineering. So, yeah, I am thinking we might need to start really rushing the formers down to terraform around the Morgan occupation zone. The Moz. I think we really need get some warships out in the sea between us and the Spartan continent. Let's start moving towards that. And also, do I have an aircraft that can reach out? Look at this, I've got a bleeding base right there. I think I need to get some aircraft. It's a gamble. Oh, he's not going to make it. Shit.
Request confirmation.
$920? God, no. And I think the Morganites will have to sulk in the ocean for a bit until I can get around to effectively crushing them.
Production complete.
See, that's interesting. They put plasma armor on their transports.
Terraform complete.
Very interesting. Oh my. Yeah. Right. What do you want? $100 to fuck off. No. Got that here in force. Right. This is going into. Could do with some artillery up here as well, I think. Why attack my formers? God damn it. Ass. Oh. At least my weapon technology seems slightly ahead of the Spartans. That's something to give thanks for. Oh my god, he has shard technology. Spartans are now my biggest enemy. This is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. Well, thanks very much for tuning in, Shrub, and everyone else who dropped in and dropped out. I tend to only play for about an hour, just these little one-shots. What I will do is take this evening's playthrough and edit it into some highlights, which I will put on YouTube. Search for the Blogging Goth. And I will be back around about 7 PM GMT next week, in which we will try and figure out how on earth to prosecute an intercontinental war with a faction that is twice my size. And on a technological par with me. At all of these air forces he's developing, I'm going to have to really beef up my air force. I'm also thinking I'm actually going to have to design carrier tech. We're going to need to have carriers in the Sea of Pholus, launch air attacks on bases on this continent. That is for another playthrough. Thanks very much for tuning in. Do give me a like and a subscribe so you are alerted the next time I'm online. I have been Tim Sinister for the Blogging Goth, and I will indeed see you again. Thanks so much. We will see you next time.